I keep telling people, Kevin Soyer is hands down the best stand-up comedian in Trinidad and Tobago at this very moment.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the South Central Podcast. I am your host, Ron Austin, and on today's episode, we are joined by one of the top comics in Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Kevin Soyer.
Happy to be here. Thanks.
Thanks for coming through, Kevin. I really appreciate it, my G.
Yeah,
So, where do you get your inspiration for stand-up comedy?
Wow, life. I don't have a stand-up comedy idol or not like somebody who studied the art form or anything. It's like my innate way of dealing with life, navigating life is through humor, through comedy. So at like my default setting is just that. So I think I just able to communicate that way on stage and people seem to relate and like it and be entertained. So that was really for me. Yeah, for me, I was doing I come from a background of theater and stuff like that. So for me, and then I fell into doing internet comedy, I guess you call it.
Right.
And so because our video went viral, I was invited to come and do stand-up comedy on a television show around there. That was the first time I ever did stand-up comedy in my entire life. So I just prepped for 5 minutes, went and did it, and it was, according to them, one of the top 2 they ever had now.
Right.
So it really was just my voice. I'm not sure exactly how or what I slip into when I'm doing it. I think I just aware of the audience, I'm aware of what I want to deliver and how I want to deliver it, and I just do. I can't really give you a formula.
Okay. So now I kind of had to ask you, will there ever be a released version of See Beneath Your Bundles? From the Aruba tribe, for anybody who watching it, Kevin have a set.
Right.
Where it's called, the name of the song is See Beneath Your Bundles.
Yeah.
One of the best remixes I've ever heard. You want to speak of it?
This is background history level interview kind of thing. Like this deep nuts. This man, I'm like, wow. Yeah, but that was for my show. So Cindy,
right?
She is, she's somebody we really look up to and have a really good relationship with. So she's one of the people who was pushing the industry of stand-up comedy here in Trinidad. And she had this show a couple years ago called Holly Mike. And you come out, you do a 10 minutes on a particular theme or topic or something. And so for that show, I think I had my set, I had my written set, jokes to tell, and I decided why not do a parody. And so yeah, I just did a parody. That just came to mind. I really not sure what I was thinking about when I think it fell in with a joke I was telling. So a joke I was telling, it fell in with the whole thing of, ladies who wear a lot of makeup and weaves and stuff, which is fine, Like yourself, we got back to Nikisha. And yeah, the song just came out of that year. I really can't. But she reached out to me the other day, and she has a show coming up on March 5th. And she insisted, because I've never done it since, she insisted that we do that song at her show. So anybody wants to come out to see me stand up for something, show on the 25th of March, you'll hear that a reprise of that song.
Make sure I'm going to buy a ticket. Make sure and support. So, Kevin, and I had to ask, because I know you have, especially as you're going back to your Facebook comedy and your online comedy, you have a character called Pinky.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I have to ask, will we ever see a collaboration between Pinky and Malakia? Rodey, for those who don't know.
Oh, okay, wow.
Because I was thinking, maybe Pinky and Malakia could have a little discussion now, you know what I mean?
I don't know. I had to ask Rodey about that. Funny enough, we did Rodey on certain projects and stuff like that. We never really discussed any kind of collaboration with that. But yes, there's a character named Pinky. I haven't done it for quite some time. But yeah, it's a character that's much more famous and liked than me. I'm a much bigger fan base than mine, because everywhere I go, people ask me where Pinky and Shillings and stuff like that. But yes, these characters I did that took on a life of their own. And yeah, just fun that people relate to them. It's just this young, rude girl. Yeah.
We all know a Pinky somewhere in the community.
I think so. I think that's why people relate to her. Yeah. The people like, the unfiltered, abrasive kind of attitude. They live kind of vicariously through this character. To see everything that they think, So yeah, I think people like that.
Is there any local or international people who doing comedy or just practice the art form that you look up to or you see and you're like, I admire their work?
Stand-up comedy. And you say locally or internationally?
Or international.
Yeah, for sure. Internationally, Cat Williams was one of the first ones I really liked. I think that was Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, actually Ellen. I like the way they do comedy. I think that, and of course Eddie Murphy Raw. I watched that so many times.
I've seen Delirious so many times.
Delirious, it's crazy. And Richard Pryor. So for sure, I definitely watch them. Not that I pattern my thing after them, but I definitely like what they do, and they kind of open my eyes to what could be done through comedy. And locally, I wasn't really tapped in that much into what the comedy scene was like locally when I started. But going to shows and performing alongside people, definitely I would have to highlight these two. Kivo. Kivo was somebody who, when I started doing comedy, stand-up comedy, I was into around, more or less my peers.
Right.
And we were trying a thing, and we doing it, and I was doing well. It was something I could do really well, and I was successful in it. I really wasn't feeling that challenge. I think my first show when I saw Kivo, I was like, okay, this is what I could do this. This is where this could go, because Kivo wasn't trying. I think Kivo was he embodied it. He was doing it. He came to do a job and he did it in an exceptional way. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be trying nothing. I want to come, I want to be booked, come and just mash every place. And like, this is where he could do it. So Kivo was the first one really he started that kind of mindset for me when I saw him. And the other person who just took it up to the next level was Errol Fabian. We thought we was funny. We thought we was comedians. We thought we had it. And this one show, Hoppy, Hype Up, and they had a show, it was Stitches, on one of these shows at the residence. And they said, Errol Fabian will be coming through. And he was like, Errol Fabian, I'm going to come and see what we comedians doing and thing, and see what we could do and whatever. You're just excited to show him how we take that from, and we just doing this whole other thing with it, And he come and he school us. The way he mash up the place, Errol just flatten the place. The charisma, the stage presence, the way he connect with the audience, nobody could touch Errol. Whenever people say, Kevin is the best comedian, I'm like, are you crazy? Errol Fabian, I don't want to ramp.
It's like seeing a master at work.
I don't want to smoke with Errol Fabian. He is next level. He really is the king of Caribbean comedy. So seeing him, for me, I was like, okay, that's something that's fine to know. So him and Kivo definitely activate something in me, for sure.
Okay, so as I mentioned, Errol, Kivo, and I now have to ask, what's your thoughts on using profanity in your set?
Yeah, so for me, in my set now, there's a couple times I would have dropped on the left down because it's impactful for the joke. It makes sense for the joke. I would like to censor comedians because comedy is something, you had to express yourself through it. And one thing I know through being in the community, like we have a comedy family here. Like we have people who we just so connected to. Like these people, I talk to them every day. We all intertwine and we all so invest in each other's success. And they all have different styles. We have a Christian comedian, Ramsey. We have a Muslim, very abrasive comedian, Gabriel Bridge Mohan. We have, we have all kind of comedians from different. We have Stefan, John, who's LGBT, and his stuff will lean towards that. So I wouldn't want to censor anybody on what their lane is. And so now I have no problem with anybody using profanity in their sets. It's more to do with the audience. Know your crowd, know the audience. So obviously you cannot go to a conservative event and custom place Jerome Richardson. You cannot do that, right? But you can but in appropriate places. Yeah, you was at the Comedy Fete, like you can tell a kid to do that, you can't tell Jimmy to hold her back, and it could be impactful and useful in certain instances. I wouldn't really have a problem with it. Some people think, people use it because they don't have the vocabulary and they don't have the skill. I think no, that's just how some people speak. That's how people express themselves and it's authentic to them. So like as I don't jump on and say Pat Williams and Dave because the language is not nice. If I'm rambling too much, the cover law this year, just kick me in my face directly, just stamp me.
We shout out to the cover law.
Yeah, in the corner there. Another one of my inspirations.
Okay, so what was it like to perform on the Cup of Joe segment on TV as well?
Right. So first of all, right, you just acknowledge the amount of research this man is doing. Ron Austin, amount of research.
Thank you.
So I really have to get this podcast because when I saw it, I just admire the quality of the podcast. I have to say that. And secondly, there's something from behind the scenes. The way this man inbox here and approach it to do an interview is unlike anybody else I've ever been. I don't make myself sound like I've been on everything before, but I've been reached out to by people in print media, television, media, internet thing, different podcasts, fellow colleagues, all kind of stuff like that. To be approached to do something, and this man taught everybody how you approach people.
Thank you.
That disposition you have, you go real far. This podcast gonna go crazy.
Pimpin' Fras Kitchen reopening this month. Best wings in Trinidad. Pimpin' say so. Pimpin'.
But yeah, so yes, back to your amount of research you do. So the couple Joe thing. Any of those television appearances, they could be a bit, hopefully it doesn't translate to the audience, but for me, it can be a bit, it could be a little tough sometimes, because I can do it, I don't already struggle with it, but it can be tough because you're performing to just the cameraman. So, or just a camera. So, I mean, I've had a lot of practice because of COVID, thankfully, with that. But it could be a little, you're not getting the
no reaction,
you're not getting the audience,
no connection,
read anybody, and then of course the person watching it, especially when you have my humor, and some fragments of my humor could be a bit niche because I talk about my personal situation, and because other people don't know if that's something they can laugh at, if the shit, so without a crowd and the ability to look around and see people laughing and be like, okay, I can laugh. Yeah, so sometimes that really transferred through the screen. But that's cool. Like for me, I think I've been doing this a while, and the way I approach these things, whether I'm in front of a camera alone in a room or whether I'm on Napa stage, I will just deliver the exact same way. But I definitely love the audience. I like that relationship with the audience.
Okay, so as well as with the audience, you even just be performing alongside some of your other fellow stand-up comics.
Yeah.
Who is some of your favorite comedians to perform alongside? Like if you had to pick a lineup, who you want to see next to you or following your comedy?
Yeah, for sure. Well, everybody know I am biased. Adam, Jovial, Junior Limo, the king of Trinidad and Tobago Entertainment.
Big up Jovial.
He is the king of Trinidad and Tobago Entertainment. Jovial is the best,
yep.
Right? The top people right now probably mentoring or thinking that they're giving him a blah, he's going to surpass all of all. I'm very sorry to tell you, he is the top at the top. So I had to have him. Once I had Jovial in. Joe Richardson, a good friend of mine, he has a really great sense of humor. It's an innate sense of humor that is just him. And so he just been out in a kind of really dry way. My humor is very dry as well. So yeah, we complement each other. But yeah, he's really, really amazing performer. And he have a lot of talents that he could rope into his comedy as well because he could be very physical.
The backflip boss?
Yeah, backflips, and he's a dancer, and he's a lot of things. So Jerome for sure. But to be honest, any of my colleagues in Laugh on the Ave, which is a that we form where we test material and we just support each other and stuff like that. Anybody in there, I love to perform with. So, Kwame Weeks, Gabriel Bridge-Mohan, Jonathan Pierre, of course, the Kuva Law, Taddy Boom, Loris Leasing, Stefan John, who am I forgetting? Anybody else? Anybody else who I'm forgetting? I'm very sorry for forgetting you. But now we have a family, it's about 14 of us. Maybe 12 adding people. But so I really like to perform with them, and as I said, my family, so we have such a good relationship, we complement each other, we support each other, and I just really like to see how, Kes Ramsey, of course, Kes Ramsey, and Kieran Ramsey, his brother, who's new to comedy, but he has been doing it out of the water already as well. So, I love to perform with them. So I can't narrow. But if I had to put Jovial on top because I
Roy and Gloria. Yes. Do you find keywords remind you Roy?
Oh, come to think of it, I could see that. I could see them being the same kind of archetype. I could see it. He have this kind of like they're very expressive. There's a man's man. They're very they could be kind of big and take up. I thought when I was watching people videos, I thought he was a small. I thought he was like 65 something. Yeah, I just thought he was like a guy I was expecting.
I thought Kwame was tall too.
True.
I thought Kwame was tall.
Nah, so when I finally walked in a room for the first time, I see people. I was like, "What? This man could just crush my skull." I was not expecting that. I didn't expect that at all. But I could see the Roy thing. Actually, when I think about like my writing for a role or like something for television, and I think about the archetype like that, he will always come to mind because he's a kind of father type. I kind of know he's expressing himself.
It's like Pinky and him. Everybody know how everybody know Pinky. Everybody know how Kivo in the community.
I think he speaks to rare people. Kivo speaks a universal language about a lot of men because he fed up over a lot of things.
Oh yeah. So again with that old school generation now with the like Joesph and the Tommy Joesph and you have anybody who back in that time or the older set of comedians that you like as well to see this at perform?
Yeah, well, like them, yes, but I have a reverence and respect for a lot of them because they paved the way and really actually they were the ones showing us that this was possible. Like Ricardo and I, we grew up seeing their ads all the time, or seeing them doing different things, you know. So, yes, Larry Joesph, who I met at a show, we were honestly saying, and the first time I did a show, I performed, and this man came to the show where I was, and he came and she said, I have to shake your hand.
You serious?
I have to shake your hand. I have to meet you, and he's just a kind, nice person. Like he's just really, really nice, and the fact that for me, my experience with the veterans has always been that they embrace me immediately, you know, and I really like that. I think it might be the same across the board for everybody, to be honest.
Big up all the veterans of the industry,
He came and he met up with me and he spoke to me, he's like, yeah. And he just immediately was like, what you do, I can't do, I don't do. And what I do, you don't do. And I like that. We can teach each other something, you know. It was really cool. So yeah, definitely Larry Joesph. Rachel Price.
Oh, man.
She's the queen, and you don't have to like her or greet all the time to act on her. She's the queen.
I love Pricey too bad.
Love Price. I love her. I can listen to her talk about anything for however long, and yeah, I don't think she's limited by anything. People, you know, would say, you know, the language or the obscenities and stuff like that, and I say, probably that's not your taste, but I think whether she hustle or not, she has this comic sense, she has these instincts, comedic instincts and rhythm and a style, and she just really she definitely carved out her own lane. So she's definitely a great example, and yeah, definitely my inspiration. Kenneth Stephenson,
right?
He is just very just a laid back, funny guy. He delivers, the audience loves him. So it's really good to see him perform and see that relationship he have with the audience. Jordan Gonzalez, who performed there on Fabian, he's just funny. Like if he was in this room right now, he will have us cracking up every second. If you're not talking, you're laughing.
Right.
George. He's very, very funny. So yeah, a lot of those those as they say, veteran comedians, really even Penelope Spencer, who's not necessarily a comedian, but she's somebody who I've worked with and I've been around, and she's somebody who embrace and would she just a really good presence and example. Yeah, so people like that are really lucky and fortunate that I get to interact with them, and the way that they embrace and encourage young talent and creatives. Yeah.
Okay, so something I see affecting both even the young and older generation of comedians. Do you consider any topic off limits in preparing a set?
That could be a tricky thing. So I come from the school of thought that anything could be funny. It might really have to be knowing your audience. But I wouldn't advise any comedian to put every and anything in their set. They really have to know, and they have to be prepared for the backlash, because there are jokes that could be made right now that will be very funny, but it mightn't be appropriate depending on who the listener is. So yes, I come from the, and because I can have a dark and twisted sense of humor too. So in the privacy of our group or a group call, we're like cover alone and joking, that kind might make a certain kind of joke. But we told the audience might not. So yeah, yes, I don't think anything is off limits with comedy, but you really have to know your crowd. You really have to know your crowd. Yeah, and I think that's why I make sense for me. I've dealt with a lot of trauma in my life, and I've dealt with through comedy and laughing and stuff like that. Man. So for me, when somebody else or a society goes through a traumatic thing, I could still find humor in it. It might be appropriate for me to share it, but it will be part of how I navigate it in my mind and stuff like that.
Focus on yourself, on improving yourself, of being a good person yourself. Focus on you liking yourself. Do you like who you are?
Welcome to life in Trinidad and Tobago, an advanced society, once a third world country teetering on the brink of equality of opportunity, now much closer than you think to achieving the ability to run primarily on one predominant currency known as the link. Gone are the days of cumbersome credentials, pesky protocols, and restrictive regulations. This techno-utopian nation has reprogrammed its systems to process association, favors, and winks. Need a job or contract? How about unfettered contact with public resources and funds? No mask, no gun, there's a link for that. You'll be amazed by how this twin island demi-democracy, unfazed by hypocrisy, can bubble bureaucracy in a blink. It's enough to make you stop and laugh. You gotta laugh because the system jokey and you low-key know there's countless doors and windows 95% of us will never get in because you need to know the right characters to enter or you'll remain a renter or ram in your motherboard house residing, sleeping under the constellations in she galvanized roof getting wet, drinking with the housing minister. Wake up and pray one day the Almighty Connect will link this one person with the 1%. Error 404, invalid request. You are real broken. Re-enter and refresh. Try to go with the flow. Try to establish a good connection. Try to focus on next election. Try to get a dose of that fiscal injection. Try to just laugh. On behalf of all the linkless people of little means making little memes of how it seems so curious Georges sitting pretty while life is on the line at TSTT. You see them tweeting about hot boy in the city on the inside while wishing they could backspace the T from the end of blight because they themselves just want a blight. And I am one of the linkless. Just like a village pillaged by copper wire bandits, I have no bandwidth. I have no connections, yet I am not selected. I know that sinking feeling when it finally gets through, that the system you're working your whole life for, not working for you. Employers don't care about just those. They have us like fools, more chain up than that lagahoo that jumbie and you as you're studying to sell your soul for some funds. So your loved ones don't have to die waiting on an MRI just because you know nobody working in the hospital. Links. The way to pay today is all about who knows you, and who knows you might get through, but I never learned that art. So just like the whole nation when that power line struck that tree branch and that tree bark, my current situation is very dark. And I don't feel optimistic because the more I run diagnostics, the more I realize we are the system. We are all parts of this circus of a circuit where we normalize and allow and negotiate nepotism. And until we stop ignoring important system updates, the system is never going to change. Welcome back to life in Trinidad and Tobago. Please state your name and then your request. Thank you. Press 1 to confirm that you are living in the hospital, a house. Thank you. To process your transaction, please enter your link.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the South Central Podcast. That piece episode was linked by Mr. Kevin Soyer. Back on to the next album, into the interview. So now we're going to focus on more of the poetry aspect of Kevin's career. So Kevin, first question I have for you. What was some of your inspiration behind the real, at least some of the pieces that I really like, which is like Youth Man Hunted, Black, Breed on Purpose, and Links? What's some of your inspiration, or rather the creative process to create those pieces?
Yes, I wasn't doing any form of poetry and stuff like that in the recent years. When I was in primary school, my dear primary school teachers, Miss Driggs, Mr. Clark, Mr. Forbes, and they would have put me to do poems. And I was doing poems about mud and my daddy. Apparently I did a poem called My Daddy so very well. After the rest of primary school, from I think second year, everybody called me my daddy. So, I was really called the things there now. I was a valedictorian in primary school. But that kind of fell to the side, and I really was very comfortable. My default setting is to be like a background person, so I didn't really push in secondary school anyway to like perform and stuff like that. So, in later years, after comedy and stuff developed, after theatre and stuff developed, a friend of mine, Michael, he was involved in the poetry slam, the first international poetry slam, and he's a person with a disability, so he's a wheelchair user. And he took the challenge to go and do it. and actually went and supported him when he was a semi-finalist. And, you know, coming out of that experience and seeing him do it, seeing how the things that he would speak about with me, his frustrations, his issues or whatever, he was able to articulate it through spoken word and have our audience moved or, you know, uneasy or, you know, just really connecting with what he was saying. I still wasn't really interested in doing it myself, but I witnessed it and really gave it a chance. And then, you know, probably next year when I was coming around again, people would tell me I should do it. Like, you know, people who have done it before, like Kwame Weeks, Hernandez, same friend, Michael Barker, telling me you need to do it, you know. So, yeah, I just, what I used it for, because a lot of my performance, you know, is mostly comedy, for the most part. And comedy is not really very genuine. I mean, I tell genuine stories and my genuine perspectives through my comedy, yes, but it's still, you know, with a sense of sarcasm and, you know, it's kind of cynical and all these different things. Whereas I decided, you know what, I want to have this avenue to just be raw, just be vulnerable and just share things in this way where I want to try to entertain anybody, just, you know, using it to vent and, you know, raise these issues. So yeah, I went and auditioned for it, and my first piece I ever did was just me talking about being this anti-inspiration. Like, you know, people always put this thing on me like, oh, Kevin is an inspirational person because, you know, I have struggles. And the whole piece was just about me. I'm not your inspiration. Like, I'm not that inspirational story. I'm not your, you know, whatever. That's whole kind of anti-hero thing. And yeah, it was just me venting. And yeah, they put me through to the semis. And I was like, oh, okay, I gotta write something now. And for me, what happens is that, okay, when I know how to write something, there's always a million thoughts. Like, I'm always venting. Like, my personal life on my social media and stuff, I'll vent about social issues. Yeah, there was a lot going on at the point in time. So I think when the Haunted thing came about, that was right around the killing of the 3 men in Second Caledonia. I don't know if you was aware of it, but it was a while ago. It was the police and the whole shit up thing. But just the dialogue and the discourse that was going on social media was very frustrating. So I wanted to give a more nuanced look at how these young men end up in these situations or end up in some kind of depravity and why they choose certain, you know, lifestyles and stuff like that. And I would always say growing up, because I grew up in a quote-unquote Oxford area, I grew up in Cook as in the West. And I would always hear people saying, that youth man haunted, he haunted, this one haunted, you know? And so my piece was just, you know, highlighting all the demons that really haunting them, whether it's, you know, whether it is poverty, and whether it's abuse and neglect and stereotypes and all these things, societal pressures and stuff like that. So yeah, so what happened is that whatever, you know, if I have a piece to do, it will normally coincide with something that I'm feeling passionate about at the moment, whether it's, you know, violence against women or just, you know, colorism and racism and how that influences things like, yeah, again, nepotism and all these different things. Yeah, so it kind of coincided, and I would channel, I use it like a journal, I use it like a friend to speak to, and I just talking to people trying to be about these issues in a genuine way. I'm not trying to make it laugh. I mean, the first time I did use links to be funny, I because, you know, I wanted to win.
Links the way to be funny.
Yeah. I decided to use
genius.
Yeah. And it's something that I realized. I mean, I experienced it, not getting, you know, certain things because of connections and knowing other people, and I wouldn't call them, relax on yourself, I'm not calling them. And people who get you things because of who they know. And that's just society. That's just what we know.
We know that as a society.
We speak about it and I liked it. So yeah, I just used the opportunity to talk about that. And yeah, the feedback from that was crazy. People keep messaging like, this is something I've been trying to articulate for the longest while.
I love to listen to that work.
We talk about it, but we don't really have the words to really, you know, so yeah, it was really impactful for people. And like, bring on purpose again, that was just me talking about my story. And me, you know, at a point in time, physically, yes, I didn't have to breathe on purpose, where, you know, I became paralyzed a couple of years ago. I was paralyzed to the point my entire body was paralyzed, as well as my respiratory system was beginning to be paralyzed. And so I literally had a nurse at the bottom of my bed watching me all night. And she would say, Mr. Soyer, breathe. And I would breathe. And she just checked me. If you stop breathing, I would intubate you. Breathe. And yes, that was the physical thing of being in that situation. I want to really learn every aspect of life again. And it really is a metaphor for how life could be as well, because there's a lot of people who have to make a conscious choice every day to get up and, you know what, I'm going to purposefully face this day, purposefully step outside and keep going. So I wanted to speak to all of those people because I think what happened at that piece was written in Suicide Prevention Month, and I just want to speak to those people about just living on purpose, a deliberate action and a rebellious action of, despite whatever going on in life, whatever you're facing, just get up for spite and push you for spite kind of way. So yeah, a long convoluted answer to your question.
No, that's fine. And actually, what I wanted to speak on, especially as I do that issue in Suicide Prevention Month, how important do you think it is so we as males to go and like seek therapy and talk about the problems that it is affecting us and really get it off your chest, because all of us walking around with just trying to make it to the next day.
Yeah, let me be a hypocrite. I think therapy is really important. I haven't done it. I need to do it. I procrastinating. So yeah, we need to do it. And I know so many people who I respect and I admire and who does, point in my life and they say, yeah, I do therapy. So I should do it. It's like, I'm not gonna talk about all these things and I think if you take the first step and I'm a person to calculate everything, like I'll be like, how much I'm gonna tell this person, how this person gonna really help me.
Can I trust this person?
All these different things, So yeah, but I think I need to take this step and do it because I really like how it what it does to people who have done it so far. So yeah, like men, we really need to, go out there and do some therapy and be healthier.
Okay, so if you could, and I'd ask this one as you mentioned, Miss Driggs and Mr. Clark.
Yeah.
If you could go back and talk to Miss Driggs and Mr. Clark, what would you tell them if you could or you see them?
Gosh, but they planted these seeds. I don't know if they even remember. I don't know because they would see so many big head, big lip tread. I might forget which one was me. But I would thank them obviously for spotting something in me because at that point in time I would have been a child, as I said, in a community that has a lot of deprivation, doing a lot of things. And they would give me these challenges, these projects, and highlight me and give me an opportunity to perform and see what my potential could be. So that kind of investment is really meaningful. So even if they don't remember me, I speak to teachers on a whole, the impact that you have is so lasting. Like a lot of people remember how their primary school teachers or secondary school teachers made them feel, and the investment I made in them. So it's such an important thing. Be so careful of that responsibility and just know that you're making an impact on somebody that will be very long lasting. So yeah, they very well could have planted this season to get a performer today. So I'll tell them thank you.
I think I will tell you, by the way, shout out Mr. Ash for telling me that I'm shipping. I'm telling you. You was the one teacher who told me, I don't think you're shipping in. I think you just need to really apply yourself. And I was like,
that's the threshold.
Yeah.
That's where you that's the benchmark. Like, he just told me I wasn't shipping.
Because the whole class didn't do well.
Wow.
So your question is like, I don't think it's shipping. I think you just need to apply yourself. So like, if Mr. Ash, one of the shittest teachers in this group to tell me, he don't think I feel like I had to have something.
Yeah, big up Mr. Ash.
Big up Mr. Ash.
I had a teacher on the last day of secondary school told me Mr. Von Stanford said to me, Kevin Soyer, nobody gonna remember you. Because I was real quiet. Yeah, I was real quiet. Like, and he just saw, he's like, nobody gonna remember you. Come to know Mr. Von Stanford now. He's come out the laugh for the
Look at where you're
now. He's a really, actually, when I became sick and stuff, he's a real good support. So teachers have this, as I said, there are some teachers who are amazing, like Mr. Von Stanford, who make a really long-lasting investment in the students, and just be mindful of that.
True. Now this one touched my soul, and I leave it for last. There's one line that I want to highlight, Kevin. One line that you said. Kevin, did you study IT in school at any point in time?
Well, we did do some information technology, yes, so.
RAM in your motherboard house. Oh my goodness, Kevin. That line in links when you said you had to be sheltering from rain. And oh my goodness, RAM in your mother. That one line and that totally amazing. You're genius to craft that one and your IT. You're going back to like the IT references. During that point was amazing. So I just had to point out that one line.
Actually, I came off the Tandem was when people a comedian and a performer here, we mentioned that part stuck out him and he's like, I don't know about computers, so you understand it. Yeah, that was good.
This is my first time writing for Slam. Advised by a couple of people, challenged by a couple of people, I guess. First time doing poetry or anything like this since probably primary school. So big up to Cookery Government Primary School and Miss Driggs and
Mr. Clark, and everybody there that encouraged me. So hope I did good enough. The inspiration for my piece, a lot of my Facebook rants, the old host said they were a bit long. You get a summarized version here. And yeah. I remember being a young boy sweating, distracted by the shouts of some youth man getting dragged by his neighbor, by the scruff of his neck, insisting that he have no kind of respect. And as you expect, some corner house shaman breezing on his deck would interject. That youth man, haunted. And the youth got just beat up, undaunted by the blows and woes he confronted, doing what he wanted. Let go me now, boy. Let go me. You cannot ship it out. You go see. And that would be a normal haunted youth display on any given day. What you go say? But what really haunted me was what a haunted could really mean. Because I just couldn't guess what Jumby was jumbing the man. What stray manifestation was aggravating the Dan? He was bad or just mad with some kind of defect? Did some black magic chant have that kind of effect? No. And with age and with time, I would come to reflect and see how those ghouls weren't the ones you'd suspect. Because, like me, he could boast that the first one to ghost him was his father. And that's a serious metex. No call, no text. Make it harder. Hard, like the skin on your back get after years of that leather belt. Hard, like the states of your heart get. It was your single mother just doing her best. Because the Bible say, spare the rod, spoil the child for certain. So it was always more rod than curtain. But was that just love or hurting? Because hurt is like a pyramid scheme. They're always looking for just 2 more people. Just need 2. And as much as you put in, more come back to you. Painful susu. Could it be colonial operations and operations saying break that branch to use to flog them rather than follow the trunk to the root of the problem? Is the phantom of the massa in your head make you figure you must beat it out of this hard head? Them youth men haunted by hunger and lack of education, by anger from lack of elevation, stigma and constant deprivation, till the burning tires in the road to make the whole nation bummy. That's an abomination. Them youth men haunted by the idea that you must stay hard and stoic. You're depressed and sad, don't show it, you mad? Learning disorders, mental illness, trauma, that's old talk, that's myth. That is white people drama. Them youth men haunted by their own reflection, probably, because you call them black and ugly. You're black and ugly. You're black and ugly. You're black and ugly. You're black and black. That's the constant attack that they keep in the back. Them youth men haunted by the potential to be the best while being conditioned to think the less and need chaining. What else could possess a politician to possess in their political campaigning? So yes, that youth man, real haunted. Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you about the pause while you're performing in a stand-up poetry, where you develop a sentence so well so that the audience could almost complete it on their own.
Yeah.
And then in that moment, with the last word, you'll leave it lingering between the assumed next word and the end of the sentence. Like good examples of this would be in Haunted and in Links, when you use that same side, like beat it out at that hard.
Yeah.
And just leave, but everybody could fill out the whole sentence. Is that something you just develop on your own, or is that something that you see, or where you get that kind of style from?
Yeah, no, I think that's an advice I would just use. Well, there's 2 things. So when you talk about it in comedy, that's just misdirection. And I think that's a major part of why I do comedy. I will carry you along with me. You think both of us will arrive at the same place, and I will just switch it up.
Yes.
And switch it up in a really absurd way that would have you laughing. Because the absurdity of comedy and also truth in it as well, that's really laugh now. So for that, yeah, that's that. And I think in the piece they're talking about with links, yeah, they did that as well because I was trying to be comical, so I know the audience, but I didn't anticipate how the audience would respond in that one, to be honest. Like, I know some people be thinking of going one place and they expect them to all really shout it out like they did in that. But yeah, just misdirection and, you know, keeping people on their toes, and I think it's like, it's not a fun thing to put into what you're doing, that kind of little national drink, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're talking about. You know and I know, but I wouldn't say it or, you know.
And then again, they're saying you could even say something in between while it is they say in the ending of the line number. So that was so good.
Yeah, that was cool. And how they, and that kind of interaction with the audience is really, really fun. It's a fun thing. It's cool.
Question for you. Did you envision yourself coming this far from when you now start on your social media, rants on Facebook and everything? Did you see the longevity of your career coming up to this point?
So it's two things. Well, as far as comedy, I didn't anticipate the comedy thing. I didn't anticipate, the opportunities that were open through comedy. I didn't anticipate it. Did I anticipate some kind of being known for something creative and, being a performer thing? Yeah, that was always my dream. That's something that's still yet to honor in some aspects. Like, I think growing up, it was always music. So music, I know I'm going to do music, and one day I listen to music, and I get to talk about music, and that was just my real goal, and that was my language, just go through. And comedy was just like, it was part of me, like, it was always funny, but I didn't ever think of monetizing it or refining it. I never thought about that. So through, certain things in life, that started to happen, and so I didn't anticipate where I would end up today, and I really don't know where it's going to go next. And it's a fun thing too. I feel like I am just starting work. Like, I know a lot of people like, you're so fun, he's my inspiration, or use this and that. And to me, I just started, like, where I see myself going or what I want to do, like, there's no even scratching. And I like that. So this is just where I started. I come in on the South Central podcast just to start work. Imagine if you used to come on the South Central podcast as a new employee and just get big up just for being new. I just see I don't starting, so I don't know where this is going to go yet. And that'd be a fun thing, that's an exciting thing. So I don't know what else to do.
Well,
okay. I would the other day I was performing at my brethren's show, and then the next day I talking to superstar, was writing jokes to him and thing like right. So that was crazy, like so I don't know what happened next. What will be next? I don't know what will be next.
Okay, and who are some of your social media personalities that you're like? Not necessarily comedians, because you have like certified Samsung. Big up Matara French.
Big up
Goodness
Matara.
Boss. Big up Goodness Boss.
Big up Matara.
At least like Goodness Boss, him one time now.
Yeah. Ooh, social media, that's a tough one. I kind of all over the place with the social media content. I am, again, a hypocrite. Like, I have been somebody who has provided it, put it out there, peddle it, but I don't know if I follow anybody religiously and be involved in their content. Kesh Ramsey, I follow the virgin of mine, I pay attention to stuff. Hoover Lord, I'll look at his stuff and harass him on his platform and stuff like that. Junior Lee, you do a lot of things now, so not necessarily that, but outside of comedic things, I like anybody who can make me think, teach me something, who charismatic. So this, for the old people out there, Rhoda Barrett, I watch her stuff. She's very interesting. I like so another person born at Bigfoot. There's just somebody who do music and stuff like that. So it's all over the place. It's just all kinds of niche things that we look at.
Okay. How did you start on social media with your Facebook rants? What was the thing that made you pick up your phone and be like, you know what, I want to try this?
Yeah, so it was this one day I had no intention of doing it. I had the first, no, to be honest, so I would have been singing all the time and then covers and stuff on social media. Then I would have had these one-off things. I would have done like a one-off funny video thinking I just shared it with my couple little friends on Facebook. All of us have a little laugh.
Right.
So I did this video about bourbon. Bourbon had given me 3 biscuits in a pack instead of 4. And I posted a rant about it. Just showing the pack. I didn't show myself, I showed the pack. I was like, I get 3 in here. What do you try to be the other one? What kind of thing I saying? And it blew up like 400-something thousand views. It went real viral. And that's why I was asking to come on the rundown, because of that video. I was like, okay, think you're funny, so just come and be funny in person. But after that, people were like expecting funny things from me, but I didn't know what to post. I would post things. I took the opportunity to post things about personal disabilities, challenges we face, and I would talk about things like that to kind of bring awareness to the challenges, accessibilities, opportunities, and things like that. And then this one day, there was a couple of friends who were telling me stuff like, you make a real good father, because you have this quality and you have that quality and you be a real good father. And to me, whenever I think about that, I think about the practical aspect. I think about the child being there, and I say, come here, and they say, no, you are good. How are you, you know? So, that I was saying about, to me, he thought it was very funny, because I didn't have a funny sense of humor. To me, I just think about this rude child saying, come on, you want something, and I can't run them down. So yeah, that's literally how it was born. I pick up my phone. I was like, I want to show people what it would be like if I was a father. So if I'm down here and this channel is double decker bed, and when you try to come down, what are you gonna do? So I created this character. I'd never done it before. I just went on the filter. I know people that use this filter, on like international videos, people and stuff. So I put on the filter. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this little child and play the father. I was like, hey, come on for me. And the child was like, no. He said, come down. And I felt a shoe and hit myself in the face, the child in the face and all that stuff. And people loved it. And immediately they were like, no, this is what we're doing now. They said, no, this is what we're doing all the time. No?
The birth of Pinky, that's
how Pinky was born. And and then she come about. It's crazy because when I was in it doing social media, like it's become like a job sometimes. It become like a routine and a chore, and you're just doing it kind of mechanically. Yes, you have the ideas. Yes, you're making funny content that people enjoy. It become like a duty. And being a couple of years out of doing it now, and I bounce off a video, somebody might tag me and it's like, oh, no, I get to watch it and not know what happening next, and it just be killing me. I'm like, I am so ridiculous. Where did I come up with these things from? But yeah, it was really fun that's another gratifying thing to put all this comedy for people and see people building relationships on it, commenting and liking it, and they wait and they tagging 9 friends and they're doing a job. Look at come out here, and people call you and message you and be like, hey, we in the office here. I's the Pinky, she's the Shillings. We build our friendship on that. It's cool that people really latch onto the characters and took on a life on its own. So that's really how I got into it. And because of the response from the people, it was like, okay, I have to feed them, I have to give them. Yes, I enjoy making them laugh and stuff, but there's the demand for it. Yeah, so yeah.
That would become like tiresome.
It could, yes, it could. If I'm being really, really frank, after a while, it became like a job. Yeah, it really did become like a job. At some points, and sometimes what a job because people will hire you to do things. Can you do this ad, or can you do a birthday thing, a retirement video, for whatever reason, and we'll share a wedding. And once it's done, it's great, and I'm glad I did it. But in the moment, you have to be like, okay, what am I gonna do this? What thinking, this time and this and that. So yeah, it could become like that. And to me, I like to do things that strike joy, and so when I realize, okay, it's becoming a task, I can't step back from it. And not to say will never happen again, I don't know, but just one moment where I feel like I wanna put my energy right now. So I believe I can give those characters a long life, a long time. And so I kind of like started channeling into other different things that I wanted to do as well. So I know a lot of people mourn it. But I'm glad for the reaction that people had and what they got from it. A lot of, like, it's crazy. Like, you would think, like, I just making silly videos. People would inbox all the time, send voice notes about how it's helping them through this or helping them through that. And, it's really crazy how much it matters to people. And I experienced that for myself because I remember when I was in hospital, I was in hospital for a year and 3 months. And I used to have to do chemotherapy. And when I was doing chemotherapy infusions, it would be every 2 weeks. I did 6 infusions of that. Every 2 weeks, it would be a horrible experience. But I always know, once that Dr. Bobel, make up yourself Dr. Bobel, even though I didn't like you bringing that for my time, and this Latash. When they would come in, I would, pull on my laptop and put on something that make me laugh or distract me, some kind of something. So, and there'd be somebody making YouTube videos or Facebook videos or whatever, and that would distract me and take my mind off of it. So, it's good that I could have been also to turn around and actually do that for somebody else. So that's actually how I end up doing the online stuff and just stuck with it.
Okay, so do you find how you just keep your back from anything creative you're actually doing? How you just keep that balance between feeling like burnt up and keeping that creative juices flowing within you? Because it's very easy to get burnt out, even if it's not videos, if it could be stand up, creating a set, making music.
Yeah, no, I think some people just get burnt out. I mean, some people have not. I've watched some people on social media for years and years and they have not lost momentum. They keep doing that. That's what they do. And I think they just have that ability. That's just something within them that they could just do that. And some people, like myself, it could become, it could become overwhelming. I know other creators as well, it become overwhelming or sometimes you just need to do something else. Sometimes you just need to do something else. As much as you might love it and other people might love it, they just need to. So I guess there are some people who really good at creating some kind of formula for managing it. I'm not sure that I ever prepped that code. I just knew it was time for me to, focus, channel into other aspects. And I hope you follow my instincts will. And I think they have in a lot of ways, you focus it in, and it's because when you look around at certain points and realize, wait, I am in a good place, I'm in a place where I wanted to be, or it's a place I aim to be, so the decision I'm making probably right. And also when I'm not too sure, I have people like those laughing, you have comedians, or as I say, Mr. Cooper, in the corner there, both stand up voice and be like, yo, Kevin, you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing right now, where is it, so that's my best shade impression right now. Yeah, that's what he's doing, and he would, that kind of nudge and Jovial as well, who have all the direction that I lack in this. I don't know, he have all this vision and he knows. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's the balance. I don't know. I just kind of do it. It's just for me, it's instincts and just doing really full right now.
Okay, so on to the next section now, where I want to talk more about like you specifically and your life experiences. So the first. Or the tiny one. But that's not my first act. So what I wanted to ask you is that where do you think the performers could do better to help facilitate the differently able within the industry?
Oh, I mean, what comes to mind one time is accessibility. And I'm a kind of person, I don't complain, I just make things happen. I just do it. I will figure it out and I'll do whatever it is, but not everybody could. And I have a lot of people who, a lot of my friends and who might want to do things who have disabilities and just, despondent because they do have the accessibility there. It's a deterrent and it's a barrier and it shouldn't be. So there are places that really just not catering to persons with disabilities at all. And I mean, in 2023, so now we need to be better with that. Thankfully, I've had a very good experience. I mean, people are always very accommodating. Spaces might not be, but I must say Trinidadians on a whole, like I personally need to know you. It's like, yo, hold on, come on, let me do something, which I don't always want. I'm like, it's okay, shit. But but nah, it's cool. But I must say, like, performance spaces, like for instance, Central Bank is not at all accommodating. It doesn't have accessibility at all. I understand it's an older place, but I mean that, there are performers in this day and age who have different, needs. And that should be catered to. So I'm glad that more up to date spaces like Napa, Isapa, these different places do have a but it could be a lot better. All of these spaces could be a lot better. All of them could do better as far as accessibility. And just thinking that it really has to be involving people with disabilities in the conversation, in the dialogue. Let us tell you what our needs are and how we can be facilitated. Because across the board, I've had to be in front of audiences I have to perform for. And during intermission, I mean, half my go outside, but half to stay inside the audience. And for me as a performer now, to come through the crowd, have to lean up on the stage, pull myself up on the stage, so then somebody bring a chair behind me, and I pull myself up on the chair, all that while, some lovely young lady watching in the corner, it's not that, you want to be able to have the same, professionalism and pride and dignity in what you're doing, so definitely there needs to be more thought and consideration, and there's some more dialogue about accommodating people with disabilities across the board within the performing arts and trying to be able. Luckily for me, and I wouldn't really the point too much, when I went back to UE as a person with a disability in year 2, right, I went back with in a wheelchair.
Right.
And I went immediately and started a theatre minor because, as I say, performing arts was something I always wanted to do. And I was like, I'm going to do a theatre minor along with my communication degree. And I did not call anybody at the Center for Creative and Festival Arts. Okay. Right. So I did not call anybody. I didn't ask permission. I didn't ask if it was okay. I showed up and I gave them their problem. And luckily and thankfully, immediately there when I showed up to class, the head of the department and who happened to be my lecturer and stuff like that, Mr. Louis McWilliams, immediately saw me and began to facilitate me. So one day I came to the beach and stuff, we had a class in a dance studio. The next day I came for that class, they had built a ramp. And next time I go to the black box or something for rehearsal, the next time I go, there's a ramp. Like we just made sure it was accessible. When they move buildings, they asked me to come through and look at what they had done, the facilities, and make sure it was good.
They involved in the discussion.
Really, that was really so. Everybody could take a note from Mr. McWilliams and Mr. Murray from the CFA and UE. They just really, that is what I would want to see happen throughout Trinidad and Tobago, as far as making accessibility a reality for us.
Okay, and as you mentioned, how important was your formal training in terms of pursuing the career that you're doing right now, which is even in stand-up comedy? How important? How that affect that whole scene?
Yeah, I think it's in there. I might not be able to pinpoint all sorts of specific things, but I think it's in there because there's certain sense and instincts that will happen at one stage. Play to the audience, how to deliver certain things, your cadence and your articulation. I'm not doing a great example of that right now because I just comfortably laying back and talking. I talk really fast sometimes. But when I'm on stage and a lot of rhythm might come from having people like Mr. McWilliams be like, okay, no, say that in this way, project that this way, do that this way. And also that comfort on stage where I'm on stage now and I could just turn on and, because I'm accustomed to going on stage and, taking on a role and performing, So, yeah, that formal training really did, it really was important. And I think just a sense of community at DCFA was just a really nurturing, encouraging place. It really, I would really encourage people to have some kind of experience at DCFA, like something, take one kind of one-off course or something and just see what our culture is like. It's amazing. The art is a whole different thing. So yeah, it was a really it's a place that really it set me up to, I think, be a good performer.
With the season coming around now and it's breaking off a little bit from you, but we still in the party environment. What has been some of your best carnival experiences thus far?
Best carnival experiences. I have not been on the road in a while, so I need to probably change that. There's one thing I think, remember what I was doing? I think about people go Papi show, man, and tape man thing. I don't know. So I've already had a lot of carnival experiences of recent. I mean, like in past years, I would have go and chip and try to sneak in the band with my friends and them. Yeah. So one impactful one was me and my friend Tika. We were just whining on the road, having fun. And these white people came with a camcorder and recorded us. So wherever that video is, if that leak, I apologize to the public for me and Tika jamming in the middle of the road. That video might leak one day. It's out there somewhere in some country.
Somebody have video camera footage of you whining up on a bump.
Yeah, just getting on real bad. But I love the season. I love like right now. I don't know. Like I don't know. The music that's going on right now, like it's so good. Like I don't know if I don't want to make it sound bad. I don't know if we needed a break and to come back because like everybody just
this carnival come back with a bang.
Bang! It's crazy. I love the vibe and I love my country and I just love I love the origins of Carnival and everything and so I just love what it stands for and where that's fun. But yeah, you might not see me in a band this year. I don't know. You can see we'll figure out something. I don't know. Somebody could sponsor man, put on a truck or something.
Juve Jammies will be seeing me. And I have a big up and as I mentioned the music. Bungie with Hard Fet, Nyla and Slim Fabulous. What's the next one you was talking about? The Deshaun Marshall. The music this year come back real trend. It's going to be like a memorable carnival.
Tunji and that in the room.
True. So the man asking Kevin, what has on your journey thus far? What's some of your most memorable experiences?
Memorable experiences? Oh. I'm compared for this one. Let me see if I can think fast. What I can think about boy. I guess it would be the first time I would have done comedy on television for the first time, just doing that and knocking out all the park and having the response. So I think my grandfather calling me and just laughing, bawling in the background. He just bawling, laughing. And my grandmother too, because they are my biggest supporters, my grandmother and my grandmother, my grandfather, and my big brother. They keep me going. They really have everything to do with me being here still. So yeah, just that response from them in that moment. Anything else? What else would have been a big memorable moment? Boy, God, the time of there are so many. I can't really narrow. I would have written a play and I would have seen it directed and put on by my friend Rachel Pierre of the Tobago Performing Arts Company. She did it with the, I believe it's, I don't want to call the wrong thing, so let me don't call it good, but they would have put on a play that I wrote, and I seen something from paper that I wrote as a play being put on stage, and in the capable hands of Miss Rachel Pierre, that was, and I was in Napa, and a whole crowd of people just bawling and laughing at something I wrote. That was really, really cool as well. So anything, I get any of those moments where I guess had a pinch myself and be like, hey, I hear boy, only, oh, my mom came for the first time. My mom is not a big, she's not very religious, very, she's a very religious Christian, and so she hasn't patronized any comedy shows that I've been in over the years, she got a little weird of it. But my friend Kes Ramsey, a good brother, he has a show called Christians Can Laugh.
Right.
And because he had this show and created this space for this censored, decent humor, my mom was comfortable to come and see her response and hearing her laughing from the crowd and getting on like that. Yeah, that was a really good.
It's something about when your mom come and support you, that is different,
come and support you and you see that she enjoy herself and stuff like that. Yeah, that was really
big up your mommy one time.
I show it her bigger moments. I have very bad memory, but
yeah, and shout out, especially talking about her, shout out Joesph mommy because she was in the Comedy Fete.
Yes.
Exactly. Shout out Makuna for calling her when the first episode dropped, and I was like, I proud of you. Oh, my mother come and she was like,
nice.
I tell you, but when your mother support it, it's a different job, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Close off now, and before we even wrap up, Kevin, again, once again, thank you so much for coming out and even supporting the show. But you want to drop to the audience because I know you all will be performing in the Laugh on the Half coming up on the, I think it's the 25th. You can drop that information for them.
Yeah. So Laugh on the Half presents Stand Up Saturday. It's the entire Laugh on the Half crew. So we are a group of young comedians who have been, trailblazing in our own way, in our style of stand-up comedy, strictly style of stand-up comedy. And we're having our first big show. And we're doing it in the Carnival season on the 25th of February. It's at Sapa. And they're going to have also featuring people like Errol Fabian, people like Kivo himself as well, Joesph, Junior Lee, and all the other comedians, hilarious comedians will be there. So you all come out and have a great time, yeah. And tickets are $200. They're available on Island e-tickets online. And there are various in-person places to get them, which you can find on our socials at Laugh on the Half on everything. And you'll find information for tickets and stuff.
Alright, people, so make sure 25th, Grand Cup that Laugh on the Half ticket.
So Laugh on the Half on the 25th, as I mentioned before, Simili Trinidad stand up for something on the 5th of March. And NCW Mako and Hushley Tour will be happening in Tobago on the 26th of February as well. I'll be there for that.
Okay, great. And Talk 10 supposed to be coming up, the 2023 Talk 10, and I'm not sure what date is. That Paul King Douglas and a couple of different.
So Lala on that,
yes.
Alexandra Stewart, they're brilliant guests.
And keeping like those, and for even the owners, and like with the Peregrine and all this.
Yep.
I ever went to Talk 10?
I haven't gone.
It is quite an experience. My dad took me when I was young, and even that is why I have all this love for this thing.
Wow.
Right, so make sure to even get that first stand, Laugh on the Half for Talk 10 and for all the comedy shows coming out. This is another episode of the South Central Podcast. I'm your host, Ron Austin, joined by the way, talk comics, Kevin Soyer, Patrice again.
Kevin Patrice again. Soyer. Inside joke.
Inside joke. And shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Kuvalot in the background there. Shout out to Kareem Perry on the camera. And we signing off. Thank you very much. Pet?